Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo 2014, our penultimate stop on our Season 8 tour of the globe. We have one more stop to go in 2 weeks' time in Cologne.
Sejam bem-vindos de volta ao Intel Extreme Masters 2014, São Paulo, penúltima parada antes do Mundial na Colônia.
So it's Group C right now. We've just had our first game of the day in Group C, and of course seen Polt come through. In our other game played backstage, it was of course herO winning through as expected. So these two Korean champions go head to head. Let's show you how the bracket shapes out right now. As we can see, Polt and herO will play each other in the winners' final in just a moment. The winner of that will advance to the quarterfinals to join our previous 4 victors. At the bottom of the bracket, the 2 Brazilians will fight it out for the chance to live for one more round. That's coming up in a little while as well.
Como mais ou menos esperado, herO vai enfrentar o Polt lutando por uma vaga nas finais. Os 2 jogadores brasileiros acabaram perdendo, eles vão jogar contra ainda para tentar uma chance de se classificar. São 2 classificados. O primeiro sai agora entre Polt e herO.
Our winners match features 2 well-known Korean pro players. The first of which is well known for his brilliant play in Pro League this season, usually coming up as the ace for Yeonsu. He's also the defending champion at the Intel Extreme Masters, having won his first tournament outside of Korea in Singapore just a few months ago. He is, of course, Yeonsu's herO.
Vocês estão vendo aí o herO. Ele venceu o Intel Extreme Masters Singapura. Teve uma classificatória muito difícil para chegar até aqui. Está disputando agora para chegar para a semifinal. herO.
And if you weren't already aware, he is one of 2 players here this week that could possibly make history at the Intel Extreme Masters by winning a second Intel Extreme Masters Championship. Never been done before, and we've never had back-to-back winners, so that's in his corner as well. But to try and stop him doing that is a well-known man from 2013. He had a fabulous season last year, wins at MLG, at WCS America in Season 2 and Season 3, and no less of a quarter-finalists at the Global Finals at BlizzCon. He is CM Storm Polt.
Tá aí o Polt para a galera, teve um 2013 maravilhoso, vencendo 2 WCS, participando da BlizzCon. Uma temporada maravilhosa para o Polt ano passado. E agora a gente vai para os casters, para os narradores em português.
Okay, it's time to go over to our commentary teams in both Portuguese and English. Time for the winners' final.
Thank you very much, Paul, and yes, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo, day 2 over here, or at least day 2 for StarCraft. League of Legends has been going on for a little while. I am, of course, Kevin van der Kooi, also known as Rotterdam, and with me is Johan Mello, also known as Le Tot. How are you doing,
Every
Johan?
time, huh? Doing good. I found out on Twitter how to get all the girls, apparently. I need your face.
I'm sure we can make that happen. Plastic surgery is a big thing here.
I could see that happen, if you finance it.
I must say, I would be kind of freaked out, Johan, if my face would be on your body. I'd be even taller than I already am.
I would be like a better version of you.
I guess you have a better personality than me. This is something that a lot of people don't know, but Johan, despite coming across a little rude often, he has a very good heart. He has a very big heart.
Okay.
Just, as long as you don't play StarCraft against him, then you're on his good side.
If you win, it might be hard. But anyway, Polt versus herO, he had a very, very big match, the first big match today, and some good Protoss versus Tier action. Well, what's your take on this match here?
I think it's going to be really fun. We take a look at Polt, of course. Here is his player sheet. For the people who don't know, Polt had an extremely successful 2013, winning WCS America twice. Outside of WCS America, people often said like, oh, he didn't really have any success, and you know, he did well in America because he was beating Americans. It's just not true, guys. He beat a lot of world-class players in WCS America as well, guys like Teja, guys like Jaedong. He's going to have his hands full, though, against herO, Johan. You know a lot more about herO than I do because you casted him in Singapore.
Yeah, actually, this is interesting timing here because yesterday evening there was the WCS America group drawings, and upon Polt's group being drawn, there was an interview of his manager, Andrew Tomlinson, who's a really nice guy, by the way, and he talked about the way that Polt has been practicing special things for Protoss. And Polt is a guy that, if he knows how you play, he's definitely going to be looking to try and counter that as much as possible, even though he has his go-to builds that he will always go back to a lot of the time. So now here he's up against herO, some guy who loves to play with Blink Stalkers, be it very aggressively or defensively, usually a very good mix of both. We'll see how he chooses to adapt to that, because herO, in the previous tournament, Intel Extreme Masters Singapore, it looked like he was invincible versus Terran. It just looked like he was unstoppable.
So it's going to be sort of a style of clashes, because when I think back of Polt, at least that was the Polt of 2013, he has definitely put in a lot of work lately. I even asked him about it. He said he's been practicing more than he has in a very long time. Not doing any university right now. Polt is all about StarCraft. But when I think about Polt, Polt was one of those Terrans, kind of like herO, who just didn't like to make a lot of goals, didn't really like to make a lot of Vikings. He's just super hyper aggressive with the buy units that he has. Of course, a good economy early on, and then he just goes for it, which actually plays pretty well against these aggressive Protosses like herO, but it goes bad against Protoss players like SOS. This is why I thought SOS was going to beat him at BlizzCon, because SOS was one of those guys who's just like, I'm going to get up the storm, I'm going to sit back, I'll get good upgrades. Meanwhile, herO wanted a different chair. Man, those Need for Speed chairs, even herO wants them.
Yeah, man, everybody wants them. They're pretty good. herO here, if he goes for his usual styles, the Blink Stalkers, which I think we've seen him, by the way, he opens very differently than other Protosses versus Terran. He gets a Zealot Stalker, then the Mothership Core, and then later on he goes into Blink Stalkers on 2 bases, usually with 3 or 4 gates, gets a Robo, starts getting some upgrades, and later on he takes either into Colossus or into Storm. That depends on how the game's going, and sometimes he even kills his opponent while doing the pressure. So Polt, possibly knowing that, you have to assume Polt studied his opponent and knows the way he likes to play. We could see him going for a lot of bioforces and maybe possibly taking to Medivacs late. But then, if he does that and herO takes a quick third, Polt would be at disadvantage. So he's going to be very tricky in dealing with this. And actually, I think Polt is definitely one of the guys that has one of the better styles going up against herO. But herO, as I said, he looks very strong versus Terran.
Yeah, Polt loves in general these high-paced games. As long as there's a lot of stuff happening, that's where Polt excels, because Polt just has ridiculous micro as well. So if he goes up against an aggressive Protoss like herO, he might be able to make it happen. 1 or 2 good engagements is often enough for Polt to pull the trigger and perhaps win. Of course, both players are big favorites in their group, but don't underestimate the 2 Brazilians that we have over here. Kelzer and Tunico are both excellent players. We just saw Tunico go up against Polt. It didn't work out for him. He put up a pretty good fight, considering the fact he's playing against Polt, who has ridiculous TVZ. That must be a nightmare to play against if you're a Zerg player. So don't underestimate those 2 guys, and I'm sure that both herO and Polt rather just win this best of 3 and get along with it, qualify for the quarterfinals, and there is a small chance we might even see one of them later today, which would be really sick, but we will see.
And speaking of Blink Stalkers, we have Yeonsu here as our first map, so pretty sure we're going to see some of those here. herO, he had some nice build before in Singapore, where he went for basically the 2 base with, I think it was 4 or 5 gateways, maybe even 6. A lot of Blink Stalkers, and he just killed his opponent right out. If Polt's not careful, he could be caught off guard by something like this. He's going to have, I really feel like this is going to be the key point of this matchup here. Polt scouting exactly what he's up against and trying to react to it as well as possible.
It's funny that you mentioned that as well, because I was watching Kelzer, Brazilian player, go up against Polt versus Tunico's going on as well. And herO was actually the one with excellent scouting, and he realized that his opponent was not playing standard, just making a lot of racks of 1 base, trying to surprise herO, but herO's like, nah, you ain't surprising me. So ready for game number 1 here on Yeonsu, so thanks for sticking with us, guys. Johan, I'm ready for some awesome PvT.
I'm ready as well, and you know, these guys, they should be ready too, because taking first place here is very important. Taking first place here means you don't meet MC or Bomber in the quarterfinals. It means that they will either meet TLO or
Jakji.
Yeah, well, which is no easy feat either, but definitely I would say easier than the other 2.
Or they could even still meet the 2nd place finisher of Group D, which could very well be Major. And of course, Major is a world-class Terran as well. But you know, if I had to choose between playing against Major or, let's say, Bomber, I would probably pick Major.
If Juan hears this, he's going to challenge you, you know that. Right?
You know, that's so funny, because Juan is like the biggest teddy bear offline. He's so funny, he's so nice, and online he's so Major-like. Either way, guys, we are ready for our first PvT of the, well, 2nd PvT, but first PvT on the main stage of the day. Of course, in the right top side, we have CM Storm, Polt, 2 times WCS America champion. Polt is ready to add an IEM victory to his resume. It's already impressive resume. I don't think he's ever won an IEM. He's won a lot. He's won MLGs. He's never won. He won GSLs. Never won an IEM. Over here in the left bottom side of the map, we got the Red Protoss, the current reigning champion of IEM Singapore. He is, of course, CJ's Enter's herO.
Do you agree with all the people that called Polt a bit of a Mr. Captain America.
Yeah, he reps us well, Johan. We're proud of him.
Oh, gate 12 by herO. And gas 12. What? That feels a little bit unusual. Might be going for some kind of pressure here.
I think just the Zealot Stalker Mothership Core.
But usually he does it with gate 13, I think. And what this means is that he might be thinking that Polt would like to go for a command center first. In which case you get there with your Zealot, you start doing a ton of damage, then your Stalker follow up, and you just get a bunch of SCV kills usually. You don't finish the game right out, but gaining a lead early on is always going to be nice. But in this case, Polt's not going for command center first. He went for the gas first.
You know, Johan, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
You're like the only guy that I know that always says like gate 12 or Rex 12 or gate 13. Well, the rest of the world says like 13 gate or 12 gate. How did you start doing this?
I don't know, maybe, actually, okay, sorry, this wasn't gas first. I need to correct. I think it's how we say it in France.
Okay.
Gate 12, Rax 15, Rax 13.
Because you also say like pool 6, right? Instead of 6 pool.
Either. I never really thought about it actually. Man, you're making me feel like uncomfortable.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. No one ever said that it has to be done in a certain way. Oh, you're definitely not normal, Johan. All right, so Reaper in production, of course, for Polt. Mothership Core does get chrono boosted out, and the Stalker is already queued up as well. So far it does seem like Polt's going to have to drop a bunker really quick on the low ground, doesn't he, Johan?
Yeah, and you think second gas from herO here early on, or Nexus before? Usually he goes for the second gas, but in this game he's already, I feel, diverted from his usual build. He's got the third pylon up. He's chrono boosting his first Stalker still.
Yeah, this bunker is late, Johan.
Yeah. Polt might be in trouble here, but he's going to have the Reaper to start doing some work onto that Zealot. The timing might be perfect, actually. Look at the bunker and the progression on the minimap of those units.
This Reaper is doing a really good job in pushing that Zealot back a little bit. If that Zealot would have walked across the map immediately, of course it would have taken a lot of damage, but I still think that would have been a better choice, because now he took that damage regardless as well. And, but right now that bunker is up, otherwise he may have, or may not, have been able to kill the SCV. So at least Polt is forced back for a little while.
Yeah, and no second gas by herO before Nexus. He gets it, but a little bit after. Oh, there is no wall up the ramp. Ooh, herO moving his Stalker in the weird position here for a second. He's going to go up there and trying to get as many kills as possible. And I love the reaction here by Polt. Pulling this many SCVs is perfect. That's exactly what he's going to need. And herO's going to have to evacuate. No, he chooses to trade his units for SCVs maybe. He gets into the natural. He's doing so much work now. Look at the income.
Yeah, but actually Polt has done a fantastic job, Johan, and so far not losing too much. Yes, he's losing mining time, but his base has been a lot quicker. The Zealot falls, the Stalker should fall as well, because that Reaper is so frustrating. This was very well handled so far by Polt. Excellent job.
I feel like he pulled the exact amount of SCVs he needed to hold this and keep on mining decently at the same time too. Like in his main, he had about 6-7 SCVs on the minerals, and the Stalker is going to get chased down.
That Mothership Core is even in a little bit of trouble. I think it will survive though.
herO losing the Stalker and almost losing the Mothership Core here. Actually, he spent a time warp. If Polt was to counter-attack here, he could do even more damage. And behind this, we have a Stargate plus a Forge. This is the first time I've seen herO's opener be handled so well. And I feel like Polt's quite far ahead already in this game.
Yep, I mean, herO has been chrono boosting out probes like a madman though. Despite it just him being on one base, he's having a nice comfortable lead. He picked off 2 SCVs in that entire process, but I still think Polt did a fantastic job. As you said, I love the amount of SCVs he pulled as well. Don't underpull, guys, because the moment... Well, the Reaper is actually in the main base, and it died.
He didn't spot the Stargate here, so this could do a lot of damage. Do you think Polt's gonna scan here? Oh, no scan for a while too. He has to see this. Obviously, he's preparing his Marines for some kind of Oracle coming in, but he has none on his natural. If an Oracle gets in there and gets like 6 or 8 kills, the Walker lead that herO's gonna have is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, not a single engineering bay is down yet, or a missile turret, I want to say, but of course, no missile turret without an E-bay. Twilight Council is the follow-up for herO as well. I think it's just going to be a single Oracle. We saw Puck multiple times going with a double Oracle, but as far as I know, herO just makes one of them. E-bay is in production though, Johan.
Yeah, but to be honest, with these Korean players, these Korean Terrans, it almost feels like they don't need an eBay too much. Like they just get Marines in position and they don't take much damage. But in this case, Polt's on the move and he's not going to have any units in his natural. This might be what herO needs to take a huge lead here. Almost 10 walkers ahead already. Imagine after this Oracle. He's done with those SCVs, man.
It's going to be a massacre as this Oracle picks up 2, 3, maybe 4 SCV kills immediately. Of course, a lot of mining time being lost as well. And that is a big deal in this phase in the game, especially because Polt was already hurting a little bit for money. Not because he mishandled things early on, but this Oracle, he did not see it coming, did not expect this follow-up after that aggressive opening from herO, and this hurts.
Wow, 9 kills on that Oracle. The worker counts 46 to 29. Polt's on the move. He has to do a ton of damage here to basically come back in this game, and the photon overcharge is going to be used. And Polt, he's going to have to come back later. I was thinking maybe he was going to get in there and try and get a snipe on a lot of probes, yeah, but he doesn't have steam, so.
No. And herO realizing what's going on, realizing that he might be a little vulnerable to the next follow-up push, so he's going to warp in a few additional sentries. Has plenty of force field, will have Guardian Shield.
And a few gateways. Just a few.
5 plus 1, right? 6 gates? Charge is about
8 gates total. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's going up to 8 gates. Which is going to be a lot. Definitely the perfect amount when you want to go into charge loss and Templars. Especially since he has no robo, no detection.
Polt cannot. Polt really is not in a position where he can afford to lose his units, and he won't trade them that effectively either. Charge is about to finish up, but as Johan mentioned, there are so many gates behind this, supporting this defense from herO.
Two Stalkers are out of position, by the way. They kind of moved out here for a second to try and catch something, maybe, but they might be the ones getting caught here if herO's not careful. Oh, he's actually on the chase.
Yeah, he has Charge is ready, Johan. He has 8 gates, and Charge is ready. He has +1 armor as well. I don't think any upgrades yet for Polt. He's still on 0-0.
The Oracle's flying around this army here on the right-hand side, and I think it's spotted it too, so herO's going to play it safe for now. And turrets went down, but there are still SCVs by the assimilators, or by the refineries that could die. Oh, wow, actually herO. Oh, that Oracle! Man, this herO's such a sick driver. Imagine how he drives in Korea. He just gets around the traffic so easy.
I mean, despite Polt being pretty far behind economically, he's doing a pretty good job in catching up. Right now he's only down 8 workers. Storm is, of course, halfway done, and herO's army does look terrifying as he's going to have +2 armor against, perhaps a 1-0 Terran. But, you know, Polt does have 3 orbital commands. He will be able to catch up bit by bit from this point on.
No pun intended.
Not like that, then he would just YOLO it.
And a nice turret positioning on the natural here of Polt, actually. This is going to be very difficult to reach his mineral. I think that's why he got some good damage done on that Oracle when he flew by. Revelation is going to be used, but the Oracle is going to die. Plus, a lot of upgrades finishing just now, and Storm's about to finish. This is herO's queue. He's got 3 Templars with a single Storm each ready, and he's going to get in there and try and get maybe a cancel on the third, or at least a lift in this case.
I think it's just going to be a lift. I think it's just going to delay Polt a little bit. He doesn't really want to run into bunkers. You have to not overestimate Storm either. I know Terrans will hate me for saying that, but you need a little more than that. That's a good Storm though. Never mind, I eat my words already. Never underestimate Storm, Johan.
Oh, herO's pulling back here a little bit. He was afraid of that army a little bit behind him. I would have just say moved and hoped for the best personally, but I love the way he's repositioning already, regrouping with the rest of his units, and most of all saving his Templars, because they are going to regain energy. Actually, he morphs as an Archon. He thinks he's going to be engaged, and he's right. Polt is on the chase now.
Polt has to back off a little bit. He doesn't have too many bio units. Above all, though, the reinforcements finally from herO is very far away. Like, herO cannot overcommit. That's why I want to say, like, he shouldn't probably just suicide everything, but he just landed a few Storm, picked up a few bio units, delayed this third base, and as you said, he kept all those High Templars alive. I don't even know how that's possible.
Getting War Prism now, and since he has the +3 ground armor on the way, I think we might see some kind of action like we saw before in MC versus Bomber. In a recent tournament with Zelos being dropped and a lot more Zelos being warped in. herO's, he's happy with the situation in this game now. He's on 3 bases, he's well saturated. Look at the Cannon and Templar in the main. We saw Puck struggle against those Medivac drops. You leave a Templar there, you have a Cannon, you can warp in Zelos, and you defend very easily against any kind of Medivac drops. Well, not necessarily always very easily, if there are a lot, but that's a good start at least. Better than having nothing, and herO here.
We're going to perhaps see some Storm drops as well, as the High Templars are in the War Prism right now. This army from Polt looks very small. Great Storms behind the army, forcing the army to run through it. herO's totally in control of this game. He has a dominating lead. A +3 armor is about to finish up.
Oh, can he Storm? No. Can I use the feedback here? And actually, those Medivacs don't have that much energy, but those Zelos going to be enough here to defend against these Marauders. The third base is going to have to be lifted, and more SCVs dying. 21 SCVs have been killed in total this game. He might be able to get the orbital command as well. Polt's falling very, very far behind now. And no ghost tech in sight.
Polt has never really been able to get things together. Like, he took a little bit of damage early on, but he handled the first push very well. But that Oracle just put herO in a fantastic position.
Second Robo plus Robotics base, so big Colossus transition. And since Polt is not even ready for Storm, I don't even want to imagine what the Colossus transition is going to do to him. He doesn't have a single Viking right now.
I mean, Protoss being up in army supply and being 22 workers ahead, Polt has never really been able to saturate this third base. herO has played a very good game, and Polt, it was very unfortunate for him that Reaper died and he didn't see that Stargate.
2-2 only starting now, which is +3 armor upgrades. And Polt's going to come back. He's going to try to sandwich this army, but the other pack of his army here is quite far behind. He needs to pull SCVs, but that means he's going to lose even more. Already being quite far behind on workers. Nice storms.
6 storms by herO. Once more unloading that War Prism. The sandwich is pretty good though, as herO is going to lose a lot here. But you know, we have to ask ourselves the good old question: at what cost, Johan, as all the SCVs die, and maybe Polt will not even be able to stabilize. It's these upgrades +3 armor zealots. herO's actually dancing.
Dancing with the zealots here for a second in natural. herO is a bit of a celebration here.
He's showing off that personality, man. He's been reading Reddit. More Archons streaming in one by one, but the army supply tells it all. 140 against 66. Polt is trying to micro for his dear life, but it won't be enough as GG is called and herO will win game 1 on Yeonsu pretty convincingly, Johan.
herO makes it look so easy, man. But I think both you and I have played against Polt before, and I can tell you this is not always a pleasant experience. Most of the time it is not.
It is a very unpleasant experience. The only thing that's pleasant about this is you get more viewers on your stream, but that's about it. They will also just leave the moment you get wrecked. It was a great game by herO. That Oracle pretty much sealed Polt's fate, though. Would you agree with that, Johan?
Yeah. The Oracle doing a ton of damage here. This really was not expected by Polt too. He could have scanned. He chose to use more mules instead. Was a bit out of position. This was very unfortunate for him. If herO had gone in the main, there was units there ready for him. And also Polt going on the move at the exact time the Oracle was getting there. Never a nice thing.
Like, it could have worked out well for Polt, you know, if herO would have maybe tried to take some map control with just 2 Stalkers and, you know, pretend some fake damage, and then he actually runs into those bio units and or those Marines and those Marauders. He might end up losing a Stalker, might end up losing another Stalker. Polt could take the Zelnaga Watchtowers, everything is fine. Instead, he had to worry about something behind enemy lines, or at least behind his own line. Oracle flies in, you know, gives a 20 worker lead to herO. And,
yeah.
Well.
I have to say, the way that Polt played this, and with all the theory crafting I did before the series started, do you think that he was anticipating some kind of blink play? Against which this move out would have been quite okay, actually. Yeah,
like I just mentioned, if he's able to walk into a few Stalkers that don't have blink yet, or just try to take map control. Because often what happens is that a Protoss makes like 2-3 Stalkers, gets a Twilight, and then adds a lot of gates, and then waits until the pylon finishes up. So maybe Polt tried to intercept that. I think you make a very good point there.
There is only a very short timing, though. Well, blink actually takes a long time to research, but if herO had made the Twilight very quickly and then chrono boosted out, and Polt reaches the base of herO too little too late as blink finishes, he's gonna lose a lot and not trade well. So,
but it doesn't even necessarily have to be at herO's base. It could just be on top of a ramp, you know, where Stalkers have no high ground vision.
I guess with 2 sentries.
Either way, we will never know. What we do know is that the second map is going to be played on Frost. Most likely Polt's going to be a little more careful. Polt's probably like, oh, come on, the last thing I thought that you were going to do to me is an Oracle.
And also charge lots plus Templars.
Yeah, but it was a solid transition. But I think, I mean, if herO is 22 workers ahead, Johan, I think he can, you know, he can max out a Void Race, and I think he'd be fine.
Maybe not.
Void Race
Only you can do that with Flux Veins, man.
Against Mertz, maybe not. Maybe not against Polt. The good old days, Flux Veins. Oh, how we miss it. It seems like we're almost ready for game number 2. Of course, a lot more StarCraft coming up today, guys. It's a little different than yesterday. Yesterday we showed 10 best of 3s. Today we will be showing 8 best of 3s and then 2 quarterfinals already. The quarterfinals will of course be as soon as Group C and D have finished up. If you guys are looking forward to seeing Major play, Major is in Group D, so we'll see him later today. And there is a big chance that we might see either Polt or herO make an appearance later today as well.
If herO takes first here, who do you want to see him face?
1 second.
I want to see him versus Jack G, I think. He's so good versus Terran. Man, I want to watch this guy play only against Terrans.
I would actually love to see a PvP series between herO and MC. But I know that's not possible.
Save it for the finals.
Semi-finals.
finals.
The people don't want a mirror matchup in the final, yeah.
Come on, they do if it's PvP and if it's herO and MC. Are you kidding me?
I'd be fine with that as a semi-final. I don't know. I think we have a lot of great matchups. I would love to see herO play against Bomber, because I think Bomber would punish some of those playstyles that herO have displayed in the past. Either way, we'll see. I'm excited to see herO make a good run, because I want to keep that fairy tale alive. It's a great storyline if he would make another deep run at IEM / be the first player ever to win it and do it back to back.
Yeah.
But of course, it would be awesome news for Polt as well to finally win his first IEM, as he has won so many tournaments. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. Of course, you guys probably know, but you know, it's a formality. Of course, on the left top side of the map, Frost, our blue Terran, CM Storm, Polt. Polt, who was stretching his neck a little bit in the preview of this game. Of course, on the right bottom side of the map, we got a sexy Red Protoss, the current reigning champion of IEM Singapore. He is, of course, CJ's Enters herO.
Nobody's ever won 2 Intel Extreme Masters. I came close back in the days on Warcraft, taking first and then next year second, but it's never happened on StarCraft 2.
Did Lin win 2?
Yeah, no, Lin won the next, like the one I finished second in, but I don't think he won 2. Maybe.
I think he won 2 of them.
But anyway, in StarCraft it's never happened, that's for sure. So herO here, if he was to win, he wouldn't only win 2 events, 2 Intel Extreme Masters, he would also win it back to back, which could turn out to be quite hard to top up here.
Yeah, considering the fact that no one has done it in 3 years, at least winning 2 of them, herO would set the bar very high. But he's not there yet, he's just in the group stage. He's looking good though, he's just 1 map away from making it into the quarterfinals. Of course, a lot of people expect him to make it to the quarterfinals. But it's always easier said than done, especially in this group, because the 2 Brazilian players we have in here, herO and Tunico, are both very good players. And not to be underestimated.
Who do you think is going to win between 2 Brazilians?
I think Tunico, but it will be close. herO is pretty good as well. Would be a fun match.
We're going to have the same opener here, by the way, by Polt, whereas herO opened with 2 gases early on. He's doing 2+2 right now. Those look like he's going to be a Nexus. And he cancels the Zealot, so he's already mixed it up a lot more in this tournament in his Protoss versus Jan than he did in Singapore, where it really seemed like he had mostly one single opener. Which I like, by the way. I really like when players change their strategies. herO, obviously, one player who practices a lot for Pro League. You have to know a lot more than one build if you're going to play in Pro League. Otherwise, it's not going to go well for you.
Of course, Yeonsu is a super different map than Frost as well. Frost cross map, if herO would have gone for the same opening, there's just no way that it would be as successful. And it wasn't even that successful in the previous game. It was just a follow-up that was really successful. But in this game, that would just be a waste of resources early on, and he would put himself behind economically. There's no need for him to do so.
It's really a build, like, I feel that if I personally did, it wouldn't even go well. It's like there should be a disclaimer, man, when herO does this build. These guys are professionals, do not try this on ladder.
Well said. We see his target go down once more in the back of Polt's base. Polt is dropping a pretty quick refactory, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a WonderX factory. Yes, it is. So just WonderX reactor, and he's going to have super quick Widow Mines that could help out against the Oracle. Of course, herO is a world-class Protoss player, will most likely not make the same mistake as you and I do on ladder. And not you, but I'm talking to the people in general. But maybe it happens to you as well.
Thanks, Kev.
Fly your oracles into Widow Mines.
I see you've been watching my stream.
No, like I've seen actually you were the very first Protoss, Johan, that I ever heard say like you want to hallucinate the oracle, send it in, absorb the Widow Mine shot, and then send in the real one.
Except now it's actually terrible because you need to get a sentry first, and it's bad versus Reaper.
Back in the days, it was good.
In this case, I really wonder how it's going to go for herO, because how could he know that he's up against a factory play? And also, Polt, can he realize from what he's seen so far, which is just an expansion? He doesn't know about, I guess, by the timing of the expansion, he should know there was 2 gases. So, oh, actually, he's going to get in there. Oh, I did not expect this to happen. Does herO pull probes here? I don't think so. He's too good for that. And this is going to be spotted.
I was like, where's the Stargate? For a second I thought that he cancelled it, but it was a little further to the left. Of course, the Oracle was already in production, so that made absolutely no sense. I was so surprised because I was watching from Polt's vision. Engineering Bay goes down immediately. Where is that Widow Mine? These guys are so good at hiding them in general. Look at this. You would never see that mine, Johan.
Where is he? I don't see it.
It's below this.
Oh, I found it.
Of course, like you need a little bit of luck. He needs to put 2 patches, and he doesn't have a bunker here. That's a little risky. Imagine if this was 3 gates behind it, then herO could just wipe in a bunch of stalkers and put on some non-stop aggression.
Look at this stalker, man. When I do this, I lose my stalker and I don't kill a marine. It's actually really hard to do what herO just did with the 1 stalker, but it looks like he wants to go for a huge attack here. He's moving across the map with even more stalkers. The mothership core as well. Wow, and the... Oh man, that looks like one of my games.
Yep. I mean, these Terran players have been getting so good in hiding these widow mines, and of course herO did not have the scouting information that he needed. He did not know that this was just a one Rex into a very quick factory. So those widow mines were out a little quicker.
By the way, Polt just scanned the main of herO and a little bit of his expansion, and he missed the Twilights just by a little bit. So he's not gonna know what he's up against, but he's gonna, having seen the Forge, and then seeing the two guys on the expansion, not spotting a Robo in a position where it will usually be, which is where he scans, I think he should be able to realize what he's up against, which is basically the same thing as in the previous game. Charge and ground armor upgrades.
We still see that herO is 10 workers ahead currently over his opponent Polt. Of course, there is double orbital, so it's almost even. 10 workers is a comfortable lead, though, considering the fact that he didn't even go Nexus first or something like that.
And only 2 barracks so far by Polt. He's going to add 2 more. Whereas we had a big gateway explosion from herO. He was only on 1 gateway from the start of this game, now going up to, oh, actually 8 gateways in total again, very, very quickly. By the way, nice cannon placement in the main. I never know where to put it here, because you cannot put it like in the middle of the minerals on like other maps.
Because it delays your mineral mining?
Yeah, you will block too much. The minerals are not laid out like on the other maps. Very quick storm starting here.
Yeah, it's kind of sick how he does that. He goes like 1 gate, Twilight, then he fires up Storm immediately. He makes his second Oracle as well. I guess that's just to use for Revelation, at least for a little bit, Johan, to keep track of those meta effects.
I think since his Oracle was killed by Widowmine, he's anticipating no turrets right now.
And of course it's going to give him Envision as well. Almost forgot about that. But
oh, herO starting to proxy some pipe across the map. If he cuts production here for some time, he could go for a timing. Well, even if he doesn't actually, since he's going to be getting Storm. He might be looking to hit the exact same timing as in the previous game.
But he's getting a robotics facility as well. And I think that's kind of strange and aggressive. I mean, there's not really a similar timing though. Wouldn't you agree with that, Johan? Because he doesn't have the same worker lead as he had in the previous game.
Yeah, but it's all about the Storm. He knows there is no Ghost. He has 3 Templars. You see, he gets the same 3 Templars that he got in the previous game because he didn't make much Stalkers or Sentries, so he had the gas for it. And as soon as he has 3 Storms, he wants to fight. He wants to get in there, and he wants to start storming the units. But yeah, as you said, he doesn't have the same lead in Walkers, which translates into having less army. In this case, Polt is going to have a lot more army supply than his opponent here. 63 against 37. Even Storms wouldn't do that much.
Whoa, there was another Widowmine in the main base. I didn't even see it. I was about to say Oracle flies into an exposed mineral line, but Polt left the Widowmine behind. Sick play there. And that's painful for herO. He's still on 2 bases. Those Oracles are not for free. There's this super annoying Widowmine that's going to shoot probes down. I don't think there's a single observer yet. Okay, actually there's one observer.
Man. It looks like the shield of Captain America. Coincidentally enough.
You love superhero movies, don't you, Johan?
Yes, I do.
It's a shame.
Why are you hating, man? Widowmine's actually being put down everywhere. So herO anticipated this move very, very well. Getting the Robo plus the Observer. If he had not done that here, he would have been in quite some trouble. Look, it's a minefield out there.
Yeah, Bomber keeps doing this against these pros players that just refuse to get a robotics facility. A couple of Zealots, by the way, slicing on this command center and just stopping from stopping Polt from being able to complete it, at least for now.
The infamous Tri-Templar drop. Actually, those might have a lot of energy. Where they? Yeah, they were the original 3. The 3 Musketeers, man. They're gonna do so much damage. Oh, 1 Marine might be able to spot them on the left-hand side. Oh my god.
herO has to be really careful with this as well, because losing those 3 Templars would be extremely painful. This army from Polt looks small, but that's just a very small part of his army. His real army is a lot bigger. This time Polt does have a small army supply lead. He's chasing around Zealots around the map as well.
Oh, the Templar drop is gonna hit very, very soon.
Is that Widowmine still there?
Where?
Oh, right.
No, there isn't in the natural. Polt is gonna have to react very quickly. He does not.
3 big storms. Stormed his own High Templar. It will survive. That was very nice. He's finally doing some economic damage on the other side as well. Meanwhile, he's dealing with the majority of Polt's forces, but still his third Nexus was kind of late.
Yeah.
It is really time that Polt is going to throw down a Ghost Academy.
14 SCVs were killed, and herO's anticipating that, the Ghost Academy being made, so he's going to work towards getting Colossus here. And he's just thrown back with his Warpies. I'm surprised he's not trying to do a little bit more, but I guess if you get a little bit too too arrogant, too greedy with those Templar drops, it can go very bad for you. And as we saw before with the Oracle being sent in. I like that pylon on the top right-hand side, by the way. That's from where he keeps on sending in Zealots.
It's going to be extremely annoying. Polt's probably going to have to throw down a bunker here or maybe make some supply depots. Either way, Johan, this is still the same Polt that we saw a lot in 2013. And of course, Polt is fantastic. And yes, he is going to have a massive army supply lead in the near future when 2-2 is about to finish off. While we do see a second Robo being wiped in. But the longer this game goes on, the better it will be for herO. But herO has to be careful because... oh, there is a Ghost Academy going on. Wow. Okay, Polt, I like it. I hope you're actually going to use it as well. Yeah,
but no second starport for these Colossus, and as soon as they start entering the field, it's going to be another story. I feel like Polt's best timing to hit in this game is going to be here very soon when he finishes 2-2. Even though there is Storm, he can spread out very well and try and dodge them, but the Zealots here going to be annoying. I'm surprised there is no bunker being made here, by the way.
I'm surprised as well. A couple of storms might land on this army. A lot of these medevacts are so high on energy. herO realized that immediately and he will feedback.
Quite a nice lead here on army supply by Polt, but it's also hard to attack into Storm. No photon overcharge was used on the third base. Some Templars are gonna fall. He needs to start a step better than this. And the Storm hits a little bit of the bio, but the Zealots as well.
Polt is doing a good job there, Johan. He's baiting out a lot of storms. Of course, herO has 2 Colossi on the way. The moment those 2 Colossus are here, it's going to be very hard. 2-2 is almost ready for Polt. It's just a few seconds away.
The Mothership Core is going to fly to the third base and use the photon overcharge there, and more storms go down. This is Polt's timing. He has to make it work here. He's on the chase. herO's trying to pull back. He still has a bunch of storms, but the spread from Polt has been too good. Again, another good storm. And no Colossus have come out yet. 2 are about to come out. herO's losing his entire army just before they come out.
Oh, a couple of Archons might be morphed in. The Immortals are doing a really good job. God. Everything is running so low, though. Polt still has a lot of bio units alive.
One of those Templars at 74 energy when it morphed into an Archon, so he's missing 1 storm. He has another one here. Is he gonna storm? No, the Templar. There was 3 Templars still in the Warp Prism.
Oh, so sick feedback there.
Wow, he's gonna chase him away, but the damage has been done. I really thought that Polt maybe might be able to close this game out here. And now, even though he wasn't able to do it, he traded very well. He got rid of a lot of those Templars. And most of all, the most important thing, he spotted the Colossus. Now he can finally start getting Vikings out. He should be throwing down a second starport and trying to counter this.
It's going to be a little tough though, Johan, because he's not able to produce that many Vikings. Yes, he has a massive army supply lead. I think what's going to be even more important is once more the spread. A lot of those medevacts are very low in HP. There are some Archons there, but if these Marauders can get close to these Colossus...
Yeah, this army of herO is actually only relying on the Colossus. Yeah. So if Polt doesn't club too much, he's going to be fine here. And right now, he's teaming in, getting in there. A nice Warp Prism warping, but one of these Colossus actually gets picked up.
He picks it up. He's going to pick up the other one as well, but this is just not... This is too much Terran. There's no way that herO can win this fight, though. Can he?
Oh yeah, my God, too many Zealots.
The ridiculous.
The Warpins really helped here, and Polt, he didn't have any Ghosts, he didn't have any Vikings. He fought with pure bio. He thought he could do it, but in the end, herO holds, and Polt, even though he still has a supply lead, if herO keeps assembling the perfect army he wants to reach, it's going to be so hard for Polt to deal with this.
Observer gets scanned. One Colossus is a little bit out of position while Polt does not see it. He might be able to catch up with the other Colossus, but not for free though. A few Marauders will go down. As you mentioned, that Warp Prism so freaking important in that fight.
Yeah, more units being rallied across the map now. Polt he still has a supply lead. They're on the same work account, but fighting with just bio and medivacs versus Storm and Colossus can be very tricky without Ghost and Vikings. So he needs to work on that a little bit more. But it doesn't feel like it's what he wants to do. He's just fighting really hard right now against his opponent, trying to gain, or at least to trade as much as possible. It feels like he's scared to go into a maxed out army against a maxed out army.
That fight was so sick by herO though. I can't believe that he picked up those 2 Colossus. He just traded them. We gave them a little sweet spot to hide it for a few shots. Blink is on the way now as well. I guess it's something he's going to need to keep those Colossus alive. Yeah. He does have +3 army, but his attack upgrades are behind. Soon, for the first time in his entire series actually, Polt will have that upgrade advantage, and he's finally producing his first Ghost as well, like 5 minutes after the Ghost Academy finished up. Polt is being close to maxed out, but really have the composition that he needs to break herO.
And what is a good Stalker count to have to cover your Colossus, Roti?
8?
10. Naniwa taught me that a while back. And I think this may be similar to what we might see here, but Polt is about to go for another. He's almost maxed out. His army looks so scary, man. This guy has such a sick macro. 135 army supply against 94 is going to go for some kind of sandwich, which is so smart against this army.
He might be able to pick up this Nexus, and that's very well done.
Yes, he's going to get the other one, maybe.
Vikings are a little bit out of position, Johan. Storms might land very big, though. He doesn't have so many Vikings. I mean, his army is scary, but can he kill the Colossus?
He's trying to trade as well as possible. Some of these bioforces getting from behind now. Paul doing a ton of work.
Yeah, that's actually
very rapidly in supply.
That's a great sandwich actually there by Polt. He's able to connect with some of these Colossus. Only one Colossus remaining. There are still a few Marauders. That Colossus will go down as well. Not before Polt loses all of his bio units, but that's completely okay because he can rebuild this. He is on 4 bases. Sick fight there by Polt, because that could have still got very hard. He only had 6 Vikings against like 4 Colossus.
Yeah, and herO holds, but at what cost? He lost all of his expensive units in this game. Captain America here going back a little bit with a lot of interim medivacs, but there's too much. He's just going to be called. And very convincing game here out of Polt. I did not expect that after I saw that herO was getting the super fast Templars, but you mentioned it. He did not have the same lead as in the first game. There was too much army supply, and maybe herO fought a little bit too much too early, being overconfident or something here.
I think the most beautiful thing about this game, Johan, was when Polt was moving in towards that 3rd base, and he was fighting against 6, 7, 8, 9 Templars, and he was baiting out so many Storms, still kept those bio units alive. And as you mentioned as well, the Colossus were about to come. There were 2 Colossus in production, and if he would have waited 15 seconds, those Colossus would have been there, and then he can bait Storms all that he wants, but he's not going to kill those Colossus anymore. Polt is doing a fantastic job in baiting out all the Storms and completely resetting the High Templar count. Even though he wasn't able to win the game there, that was a beautiful fight. Yeah,
trading bioforces for Templars and Colossus, always going to be a good trade here. And I feel like Polt here, he hit basically the only timing he could hit. If he had waited 1 minute more, there would have been too much. Thermal lens could have been finished. It would have been an absolute disaster. Even those first 2 Colossus, he hit just right before they finished. Like, he literally killed the entire army of herO except for a few units. And then the 2 Colossus came out. So this was perfect out of Polt here.
It was a really beautiful game. I'm still a little worried though, Jon, because I still feel this is so much like the same Polt we saw in 2013, and as impressive as it is, because I know
what does that mean exactly?
That he doesn't make Ghosts and Vikings in the proper time. And of course, when you just commit to Marauders and Marines, you're going to have a massive army. You're going to have a big army supply lead. But there's always this possibility of Protoss players just playing rather passively. If they get up to both High Templars and Colossus, your Viking count is going to be low, your Ghosts are going to be late. And like this works, but if Protoss doesn't make any mistakes and they just sit back, they get those units out, I think it's really hard. And we saw that, for instance, with Meru versus Deer. You know, that was a fantastic series. Everyone loved it. But, you know, if you don't make Ghosts and Vikings, there's only a certain amount of time that you have an army supply lead.
In this case, would you say that Polt was pretty fortunate that herO chose to move out and underestimate his opponent's army for some time? Because he was caught out of position here for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, a few things just went Polt's way this game. Let's not forget that investing in 2 Oracles is a pretty big investment.
We don't mind killing an Oracle with 1 kill.
Yeah, twice even. So like that's pretty huge, and that really sets the Terran up pretty nice for a certain timing that Polt did hit. And I don't want to discredit Polt's victory because it was fantastic. His micro, his splits, everything about it was sick. herO had a couple of really cool moves as well, picking up those Colossus in the War Prism, winning that fight, which I thought was going to be almost impossible. But still, you know, if herO doesn't lose us to Oracles, if he does do some economic damage, I don't know if it would have gone the same way.
And that was nice anticipation. I mean preparation, obviously anticipation, because he had seen the Stargate, he knew the Oracle was coming, but he got the Marines in the main and the Widowman in the expansion, hoping that herO was going to go for the expansion, which he did go for. So herO here might have to mix it up a little bit more, at least play better, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if we see no Stargate in this game, because now this is definitely to be expected.
Yeah, and herO is probably not a one-trick pony. I'm just going to get the scoreboard properly. There we go. Of course, we are over here on Alterzim Stronghold, and Johan, I want to hear all about. I want to hear all your thoughts about this map. After I will go ahead and introduce our players, as of course, our Blue Terran, after an excellent game on Frost, will spawn in the left bottom side of Alterzim. He's of course CM Storm's Polt, as he will go up against the current reigning IEM Singapore champion, CJ's enters herO, spawning as the red Protoss on the left top side of the map. Johan, your thoughts and experiences on this map as a Protoss player against Terran?
Well, as everyone knows, this is a map where it's going to be definitely easier to take a natural than all other maps. But herO, we've said he might change it up here a little bit, because this target opener is to be expected, and I don't think it would do well in this game if Polt make sure he's ready for it. But then again, herO cannot really go back to his Blink Stalker style here, because I think on this map it wouldn't be good. So what does he go for then? Directly into Charge Lots plus Templars, or maybe some kind of Colossus plus Blink could do well as well. My experience on this map, I guess it's a big map where medivac drops can be very, very good, but Polt has shown that he does not really go for those big drops. Then again, if there is a map where he would go for it, especially on those positions, like you can drop the natural of your opponent very easily, and then if he comes back, you drop into the third, you know, doing that little bit of yo-yo game that I lost to so many times.
I think it depends a lot on how the game unfolds. Like last game, Polt was kind of busy with like trying to deny a base, or at least like fighting small armies here and there, dealing with zealots that herO was sending around the map. Polt never really had the chance to go for drops, unless it would have just been a suicide mission. Because let's not forget, I must say the Mothership was really late to that one fight as well. Do you remember that, Johan? You pointed it out during the fight.
Yeah.
He didn't use it for a long time. No time marks went down. No photon overcharge, at least not in the early stage.
When the big push hit the third base of herO, he was busy using photon overcharge in his natural, because there was some units there as well. I think 1 or 2 medivacs maybe. So he was busy looking there for a second. Then later on he sent it over to his third base, but he was already kind of late. So in this game, actually, herO is going to open with the most standard, or one of the most standard opener that you could do, which was a very, very quick Nexus, even before second pylon. That's very economic build, whereas even on this map, Polt is sticking to his Reaper expand, which is surprising. I would have definitely have expected a Command Center first here if I had to predict anything.
Same here. If I would have made predictions, I would have said Command Center first for Polt as well. I do think that once more he's going to go for a Wonder-X factory build, though. Even though it's a little risky, but as you said, Alterzim is so huge, it's unlikely that herO is going to do something very crazy.
Oh. Do you think Polt is playing here a little bit shy, maybe depending on his opponents? He's giving maybe herO a little bit too much respect, so he does not dare to go for some very quick Command Center, as in a Command Center first. Like going for Reaper here feels overly safe.
But
what are you afraid of?
He will be able to be annoying, though. Let's not forget, because herO went for that economic build. That means that his Mothership Core and the Stalker are a little later. Polt should be able to kill at least a probe, maybe 2. He's not killing anything yet. He's focusing a lot of different probes. Okay, he's going to get 2. That's good.
At least 2. He has to. Oh, the Mothership Core is about to come out!
And it has a lot of damage output.
Oh, he almost, man, I know so many players I would have clicked on that one. And he gets out of here.
Of course, an excellent decision there by Polt, because you don't want to lose that Reaper. That Reaper might be able to spot that Stargate or that Forge or that Twilight Council or that Robo, and that's more important than that one probe kill.
I would be so angry, man. I would be like, I need to get back in there right now.
No matter how juicy that probe kill looks and feels. But still, 2 workers, that's pretty good for Polt. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, second Nexus now up for herO, and with a Forge going down, there's still the possibility we are going to see a Robo for the first time as an opener in this game. I think it would be a good opportunity to do on this map.
I even like the Robo, but he doesn't even necessarily have to commit to the Colossus. He could just be a Robo for a few observers and then still go into that Twilight charge style, which is so good.
I would say definitely a lot better to go for it than not. And we see Polt again going for a very quick Starport plus a Widowmine. Now he saw that there was a very quick Nexus. I think his goal here is going to be to try and scout if there is a Stargate again. And upon seeing there is not, if he does confirm it, go for a very quick Medivac drop with some Widowmines in it and maybe an attack with Marines up front, which could do a lot if herO's not ready. I mean, he gets his Robo here, but kind of late. And he's getting the Sentry.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very passive style here from herO. He does drop the Robo. Oh, we see Polt suiciding the Reaper, but he will see that there is indeed a robotics facility.
That probe, where is it? I want it.
Oh, he wants it.
No, he's just going to get out. Oh, the Sentry.
Tickle, 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 tickle. Wow, actually the Reaper is not going to fall. So much for that suicide mission, man. That guy's Tom Cruise.
Medivac's on the way here as we have the second Widowmine about to come out. How much damage do you think it's going to do? Oh, actually, as I say that, we have a cannon going down, so I guess that answers the question. Probably not much.
That's very safe by herO, Johan, getting a robotics facility and getting cannons.
Kind of looks like one of my games. Huh? Playing it a little bit turtly here and on that map, which makes sense. You do get the free expansion. He went for a greedy build. He took some damage with the 2 initial probes that he lost. And very quick Robo base, so good prediction here. Now it's going to come down to how much damage does he take. And actually, Polt's not going to attack up front with his Marines. he's just going to do a 2 Widow Mine drop, which should be handled quite easily by somebody like herO.
I don't think he's going to be able to kill a whole lot of workers. It would actually, as silly as it sounds, I think it would be better for him to drop both Widow Mines in the main, because one mine is not going to do, not in the main, in the natural here, because one mine won't do that much, so you might as well just drop them both here. But that cannon is scary, but I'm sure there will be an observer and an army waiting in the main base. So he does drop both of them here.
Oh, they are very close, but not close enough, and Paul's gonna get out. Man, this has become one of those things that every pro player does now. Whenever they send a War Prism or a Medivac in, they always look at it very carefully, and they see if it's safe or not to get in there. And if it's not, they evacuate immediately. Whoa!
The paranoid Terran.
The one time you don't do this, then it's a real one. That's how it goes, man.
Polt realized it after pulling SCVs for a split second. They lost a little bit of mining time, of course, no big deal, it just looked funny. Colossus in production, 4 more gates on the way. Twilight Council about to finish off. And this time we see attack upgrades, Johan. But he already has armor, never mind. It's the same on Frost, he did the same thing.
A bit of a late Twilight, actually. Usually when you go for this build, you're going to want to start your Twilight shortly after getting your Robo Bay. But in this case, it was made a little bit later, but with the good gateway explosion that herO went for. This actually reminds me of Naniwa versus Innovation in WCS World Finals. Naniwa, he went up to 6 gateways, then took the 3rd base. And then with some nice Blink Stalker defense, if you're able to kill 1 or 2 of those Medivacs plus a bunch of units and you don't lose much, you can go for a counter-attack.
This is a style that was really popular for a while. I think you were talking about it to me when Parting displayed it a couple of times as well in some WCG qualifiers somewhere last year. We saw this style a lot.
Oh, actually, very quick War Prism. Considering what herO was doing, I would have thought he'd go for like 2 or 3 Colossus. Usually you get 3 Colossus and then you start the War Prism. That's what Parting will do. And that's a very solid way to play PvT. But here, herO, he felt safe enough to get War Prism early on, because he knows that he's held the initial Medivac drop very, very well. He has 1 Colossus, and I guess he has a lot of faith in his skills, which is justified.
I mean, Polt has a good idea what's going on. That second start with Johan is pretty early this time, and I wouldn't be surprised if herO drops that Nexus over here, that Polt is going to go for a really, really big push, like Bomber style, where he might even pull SCVs with just a crazy amount of Vikings and try to hit before Storm.
This is actually one of the best things you can do against this.
And I can see it work, I really can see it work.
The shield, man. The shield was thrown by Captain Polt.
Where is that observer? He has 2 of them. Oh, it's actually going to take a little while, sort of out of position. Really annoying here for herO. Man, if herO doesn't drop a Templar Archives real soon, I can see Polt with an SCV pool. I can see him win this game.
Yeah, and by the way, that factory is going to be very annoying too. We're going to be able to spot the army, so Polt's not going to have to waste a scan on this. And yeah, you're right. I think, by the way, yeah, I said it. SCV pool, one of the best things you can do against this, but that harass is going to be so annoying. He needs to defend it first.
Yeah, all of the units are out of position. Of course, he has a lot of Rexes, so he's producing units almost non-stop. Leaves 2 Zealots behind to take care of this missile turret.
This is not killing much, by the way. How many SCVs? Only 3 SCVs now. 4, actually. As I say that, it starts going up.
But it's a small commitment, only 2 Zealots. So it slows Polt down a little bit. Still no Templar Archives. Of course, double Forge is really cool. We see 2-2 on the way. So yes, these Colossus are going to have nice armor upgrades. Armory is about to finish up. I'm wondering if he's even going to get +1 on his Vikings.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, Polt is so far behind on upgrades now. He did get the armory anyway. He's getting 3 extra barracks. The right move here would definitely to go for pre-storm timing with possibly some SCVs, but he's not going for it just yet. Maybe he hasn't made up his mind.
I think he wants an overwhelming Viking number. Right now he has 5 Vikings.
Only 5?
If you want to go for something like that, yeah, he only has 5 of them.
I think, how many do you think he needs? Like 11?
Yeah, like you want a ridiculous amount. You just want those Colossus to sit there and be sitting dogs and melt immediately. That's the way it is.
Colossus sitting ducks, huh? That's a nice analogy here. Actually, a charge just started now, and 2-2 just finishing now for herO. If he's not too greedy, if he does not start 3-3 very quickly, and if he takes into Storm and Archons now, I think he's going to be in a good position, because Polt, as mentioned before, he's going to go for some kind of a drop, and herO's not... Let's see, he's not ready, actually.
No, he has the Stalkers out on the map. He does have 2 cannons here and a few Zealots, but this is a big drop. That will still do a lot of damage. That's a good question. I think it's with the main army. Actually, no, Polt and Overcharge casted immediately, but still, this is a lot of bio units, Johan. Yeah. I think Polt will be able to do some serious work here.
Yeah, he needs to get probes here. He starts getting a lot. Oh, 5 already have died. I see that number going up very, very quickly. And the
maybe
third
Colossus.
base, the third base is going to be attacked at the same time.
Wow, Polt all over the place right now. He did leave one Colossus behind there as well. He didn't kill the Nexus, but he did reset the Colossus count. He picked up 2 of them over here. I mean, he lost
He reset
a lot
the
of
Colossus count.
lost a lot of bio units, but killed a lot of pros. Was worth it, I think.
Sounds like a Hearthstone card or something. Reset the Colossus count to 0. Actually, he killed 13 probes here, which was, as well as killing the, as resetting the Colossus count, as you said, was his biggest victory here. Because the probe count going down to 50 against 62 SCV, the production of herO is going to be damaged quite a lot here. He needs to remake those probes, and that's a lot less money he's going to have to make more units and to max out as soon as possible. So Polt definitely should be looking to hit a follow-up attack here very soon, just like he did in the previous game.
He should go really soon. Templar Archives is in production right now. It's about to finish up. We have over 1,000 gas in the bank for herO. Soon it's going to be High Templar Madness. There are going to be so many storms. We see him wiping in 4 storms immediately.
Prediction. Do you think he goes again for a tri-medivac drop or less? Or does he attack up front with everything?
I think up front with everything, YOLO swag.
I'm not sure that's Polt's way of life, but we'll see.
Oh, you'd be surprised, man. I heard he's living the good life over there in Austin. I'm actually in Atlanta right now. Well,
it's going to start moving across the map. And 3-3 started. This is a mistake. herO's behind on supply. He does not need that 3-3 to start now. He should be working on getting a lot more units, a lot more Archons and Zealots in particular. He's going to miss that medivac drop. He has some units in position. He's going to need the Photon Overcharge. And no, it's not going to be the YOLO swag, man. It's going to be 4 medivacs into the natural. That Nexus already low on hit points, by the way.
Yep, and there is not a single High Templar here. Mothership Core is going to fall. These Vikings are going to get 3 shots off. Wow, this is sick play by Polt. Polt is playing this very well.
Yeah, and he's going to get some snipe on these Colossus, attacking the third base at the same time. The Stalkers, they don't even know where to go. He's going to come back to the third base here, herO with those Templars, but he doesn't have Storm yet. Look at Storm. 10 seconds away.
But he's going to lose 2 bases. He's going to lose a bunch of High Templars over here as well.
Unbelievable.
And it seems like CM Storm's Polt takes a massive commanding lead over here on Alterzim after some sick plays, sick drops. And I'm surprised, Johan. I'm surprised that it went the way it did.
Especially after the first game, I did not expect Polt to make this look so easy. It was herO that made it look easy in the first game, but now he's going to press forward. Now, 5 times the supply, not even going to do... I don't even want to do the math, man, but Polt, so impressive.
10 to 1. GG is called. Polt will win the series and advance to the quarterfinals of the Intel Extreme Masters. Defeats the reigning IEM Singapore champion herO after a sick game on Alterzim. Johan, just sick play by Polt. The second stock put was very early on. That first drop was effective. I was surprised that he waited that long with his Templar Archives, because I feel it's not just Storm, it's feedback that's so good. But Polt played a good game, that Widowmine delaying that third base. Basically everything that Polt did was good.
And Polt really with a huge upset here. Probably not as big as Shakti versus Hello Kitty, but pretty big. I mean, obviously he's very, very good, but herO, the defending champion, the guy who looked invincible versus Terran before.
What you're just trying to say is this is TVP.
No. But actually, Polt taking first here means he's going to meet either TLO or Jack G or the second player from Group D. So he kind of messed up the plan that I had in my head here. And herO, assuming he takes second here, will meet either MC, Bomber, or the first player from Group D. So that's...
this is a great win for Polt, because I think despite Polt just winning this series, and yes, he looked awesome, I still think it's safe to say that against Protoss is his weakest matchup. Right now, there's a very small chance that he runs into a Protoss, maybe A-Bomb in Group D, but even that is unlikely, and even if he meets A-Bomb, well, that's a lot better than running into against MC, because I think Polt wouldn't want to play MC, so great victory for Polt, an important victory, and I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in the rest of Group.
If that's his weakest matchup, I don't even want to imagine how good he is in the other matchups. Well, but Andrew, his manager, said it yesterday. Polt has been working hard versus Protoss and preparing some things, and this might be some of those things that we saw here.
Yeah, it was good play. I love it as well that he didn't go for some sort of a small drop in the natural, because I kind of hate it. Like, whenever Terrans do that, it's like 15 minutes in the game. Obviously, Protoss is rich. Then they send like 1 medevac. It's like, yeah, what do you think it's going to do? But if you send 3 or 4 medevacs, then a single cannon and a few zealots is not going to be enough anymore. Then you can really pull the Protoss out of position.
It was more than that. It was 2 cannons and a lot of zealots, actually, plus the photon of a charge.
But it wasn't enough.
Paul doesn't need the SCVs, man.
You know what's the second thing about all this, and I didn't even mention it, I did show it from herO's point of view, is that he hallucinated the Phoenix for that first drop, and that hallucinated Phoenix flew by the 4 medevacs, and he still didn't he still wasn't able to deal with it. Either way, great games, much more awesome StarCraft coming up. I think our next series on this stream is going to be herO versus Tunico. That's 2 of the 3 best Brazilian players against each other. TVZ, it should be a lot of fun. Johan, thanks for the cast, and we'll see you guys later.